Hello and welcome to another episode of My Own Worst Enemy. I'm Mike, and we are getting ready to start turn 9 of Don't Tread on Me. Turn 9, which for me normally would be coming to the end of the game, because it is turn 9, and that's usually where if I make it that far, that's usually the end for me. But we are doing really good. Liberty Bell at 2. It did go up last turn. The last turn was not such a great turn for us. We did have a couple of states we lost control of, so we did not stop that Liberty Bell from going up to 2. Hopefully we'll be able to do that this time. But if you remember last time, turn 8, Lord Germain had a new plan. And that's right, Lord Germain, I'm looking at you. I'm gonna blame him. It's the new plan. It's got to be. It wasn't anything we did. So hopefully we'll ignore whatever Lord Germain has to say in the future and try to go on. So go on we shall. Let's move the turn marker and the our own little tracker there to turn 9, and this is going to be a winter turn. And we get this last loyalist unit back. That's going to come down here to our British force pool. And we're ready to go. So let's take a quick look at our money situation. We currently have no money. Well, that's okay. We're going to get 10 pounds to spend. So we're going to put that at 10 pounds. Our current target state for turn 9 will be New York. Okay, well, we'll worry about that in a second. Before we get too far ahead, let's go ahead and look at the news item. Just know that New York is the target state again. It was back in turns 3, 4, and 5. So the news event, news instructions. What do we have for turn 9? Let's go take a look. Like I mentioned, it is a winter turn, so that's going to mean the Continentals are going to have to survive the harsh winter. We have, looks like, 2 news items. Benedict weds Peggy. Peggy Shippen. I believe that's who that is. I know that's who it is because I watched AMC's Turn. And I've read a lot of history books, so I do recommend AMC's Turn, though, if you haven't watched that. That's a really good series on the American Revolution, Washington spies. Excellent, I thought. And you do get to see Peggy and Benedict. So here we go. Benedict weds Peggy. Disgruntled U.S. General Benedict Arnold begins his journey to the dark side by marrying prominent Tory Peggy Shippen and is soon passing classified information to the British agents. Well, that's good for us. The British player is now free to turn Arnold. So this can only happen if Arnold is out on the map. And I think he is. I think we saw him in New England. Yep, there he is right there. So we'll get to that. I think it's in the, after the first battle phase, I think. There's an opportunity to turn Arnold. Yeah, in the place rebels phase, we'll get a chance to see what that means. So we'll remember to do that if we can. And then we have another news item, 2 news items this turn. John Paul Jones. Let's see what that says. I don't like the sound of that. Let's see what it says. John Paul Jones, dashing rebel naval hero, humiliates the Brits in their home waters. Add the last privateer to the Caribbean. All right. The last privateer, huh? So there's the last privateer, and we know what that means. We're going to have to place the privateers before we place the smugglers. A quick note, too, on smugglers. Apparently, in turn 8, when I was in the place smugglers phase, I actually only placed 1 smuggler, and that was a mistake. You're supposed to place 2 smugglers, but I was so carried away in what I was doing, I only placed 1. But we're going to let that stand. It's I think more things have gone against us than for us in the errors I've made, so we'll just let that one stand. And I think that's it. Target's New York. Yep. So let's go into the smuggler phase. And you can see it says roll 2 dice to place smugglers and or privateers. So we are going to grab that privateer because remember he gets priority, and then another smuggler. Let's roll to see where the privateer goes. And we roll a 2. So you'll remember that if you roll a 2, and well, not if you roll a 2, if you pick a season that has 2 smugglers, you cannot place a third. There's a maximum of 2. So this smuggler will not get placed. So we're going to put him back down, and we will roll now for the privateer. See where he goes. Okay, season 3. Well, he can do that. So we're going to put him in Long Island Sound. And that's not good because New York is the target state, so that's going to provide an opportunity for Continentals to come in there. So we were hoping for, season 2, 5, or 6 to show up, because that would have prevented any smugglers from coming in. But it is what it is, so let's keep going here. And we now rebase the French fleet. So they'll go to the Caribbean unless it's a hurricane season, but it's not. So they go to the Caribbean for now. And where's the French fleet? They're in the Chesapeake Bay. So we'll just bring them down here. And they are in the Caribbean. And if you remember, that's going to, I think, make it more likely that if there's a chance for French intervention, it makes it more likely to occur. So now we're going to go into the attack smugglers phase. And I have everyone to pull from this time, so that's good. So first and foremost, I'm going to bring out Hal. We're going to pay for that. So we're down to 8 pounds. Hal's going to go to Long Island Sound. And let's see, I'm kind of tempted to double up on that privateer, but well, at the same time, well, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to bring Parker out and put him against this other privateer, and that's going to be 2 more pounds, so that'll take us down to 6. And I am going to put, well, let's just go ahead and get over it. Let's go ahead and spend the 2 pounds to get these 2 out. Or do I want to shadow the French fleet again? Nope. I think, yeah, let's think about that in a second here. Let's go ahead and place Graves. Do I want to double up in Long Island Sound or just put them in, let's just put him in the Chesapeake. We'll put him down here. And do I want to shadow the French fleet and get that 1 pound back I just spent? Or do I want to actually maybe try to clear out? Let's just let it stand. Let's try to clear out season 6. I will not shadow the French fleet this time. We'll just let them go and hope I don't regret that. So yeah, I can't shadow the French fleet because I have no ships left. So onwards to the British ground phase. It is a winter turn, so this is the winter attrition of the Continental Army. So let's check for that. We have, if we look, I think the die roll is, 4. So I think it's, let's get the rule book out here. I think it's 4 or less for them to survive. Rule book, I'm looking up 7.2, I believe it is. So 7.1, because yeah, it's the first thing you do. Yeah, all the Continental Army units must be checked to see if they survive the harsh winter. Unit must roll higher than the survival number. I had it backwards. So they're trying to roll higher than 4. But there are some modifiers that could take place here. So let's just start at the top and work our way down. And we go to New England, and this is where we hope we lose a lot of Continentals. Even if it is Benedict Arnold, that's fine. I'm just going to pull them out here to the side, and we'll replace them as we do this. So we'll start, we were in Rhode Island County. That's where they're going to go back. So I'm going to take a look now at those modifiers. So if George Washington's in the state, they get a +2. Carolina's a +2. If they're in a town or a fort, they get +2. Well, they were in Rhode Island, so they do get +2 for that. Farms +1, Virginia's +1. If there's an Indian in the state, it's -1. There's no Indian, so looks like they're going to get a just a +2 to whatever they roll because they were in a town here. And remember, they're trying to get higher than a 4. So let's see if Arnold survives. He's got to roll higher than a 4. And that's 3, but with +2, it's 5. Yeah, 5, so he does survive. So he's going to go back into Rhode Island. And this second Continental, he does not. So he rolls a 1, +2 is 3. That's not enough. So he's going to go back to the Rebel Force Pool. And this next Continental rolls a 3, +2 is 5, so he survives. And he'll go back in. The last one rolls a 1, so he does not. He has to go back into the Rebel Force Pool. Well, that was good. I'm going to put Arnold on top here so we remember he's there. And that goes back into Rhode Island. So the Connecticut coast has these two oh, there's Lee. And I don't think there's any Continentals in... No, that's our units, so there better not be any Continentals in there. All right, so Lee rolls a 1. He does not. He has to go away, so that's good. And then this last one, he does survive, so he goes back into the county there. So that was good. That wiped out quite a few of the Continentals in New England. That's good. And are there any more Continentals? Oh, down here with the French army. Now, hopefully we'll get rid of this Continental. Oh, there's 2 Continentals. Yikes. All right, well, let's start with Lincoln. Oh, let's start with the guy on top here. I can't read his name. Who is that? KOSC. Actually, if you look in the back of the rule book, it will tell you. Let's go look real quick. Now I'm curious. But if you look in the back of the rule book, all the abbreviations are there, and it's kind of cool because it tells you who all these units represent. And so looking at that KOSC, that is I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. It's an interesting name. Well, I'll let you guys look that up in the rule book and try to pronounce it. Maybe somebody can let me know in the comments below. But that name's a mile long. So let's go back to what we were doing. And that is we're checking to see if the long name guy survives. So we're going to roll. He does not. He's going to have to be placed back into the force pool. That's excellent for us. And then I think that was Lincoln. That one I can say. Let's hope he doesn't survive. Oh, but he does. Yikes. Yeah, because they got the +2. And I wasn't... Oh, now wait a minute. So it was +2 for the fort, +2 because Washington's there. So maybe the other guy survived. So it's +2 for the fort. That's 4 for Washington. Plus this is Virginia. Uh-oh. I might have spoke too soon. Virginia's +1. So it would be 3, 5. So I hate to say it. And I'm going to have to go in there and find that unit because he actually survived. So let's let me get my interface back on here and let's search in there for it wasn't Knox, it was this guy. So we're gonna bring him out, and he did survive, so he's gonna go back in here. That's bad news for us. Ugh, gotta be careful. I was still thinking that it was a straight roll, but no, that Washington modifies it, Virginia and the town. Were there any Indians? It doesn't matter because there's that 5 alone they would have survived. Don't know why I rolled. They all survived. Are there any more Continentals to check for? It looks like no. So we will continue on. At least we got rid of all those units up in New England. That's good. So now we're going to Amnesty. And if you'll remember, this is where if you have 5 or more units, there's Amnesty. And it looks like the Continentals do. So... we get to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one of these gets to come out and go back to the force pool, and I get to pick. It's player's choice as to who goes back into the force pool. So I'm just going to grab one of these average units and put him back. By average, I mean he's got all 2s. He doesn't have any of the 3s that I see on the other guys. So let's put him back. And these other 5 have to remain. And that'll take us to paroles. And paroles isn't going to happen either because there are currently no British players in the prisoner of war box. So we don't have to worry about any kind of exchanges there. And that takes us to unit purchase. Hessians must be purchased first. I've only got 4 pounds left. I'm not going to be purchasing a whole lot, if anything. And the only thing I can purchase, it looks like, is this loyalist unit that just came back out. And remember, he got put on this turn track few turns back, 4 or 5 turns ago, I think it was. So he's just not coming back out. The good news is that's only going to cost us 1 pound to buy him. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'll get him back out. And that'll take us down to 3 pounds. And there's no more units in the British force pool. Looks like everybody that can be out is out. So where do we want to put this loyalist? Well, he's probably in a farm or a town because it looks like that's where his strength points are the best in. And New York is where we are trying to hold, in addition to 2 other states. I would put him in Hampton Roads, but I don't think he stands a chance there right now. I would put him in the wilderness over here in Carolina, the #1 county, but he's weak. He's weak in there. He's only 1 strength point. And I could move some units into there to kind of back him up. Like this loyalist unit here. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will. Let's do that. Let's put him in here. And I'll probably reinforce there and try to take out that cause unit. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Well, it's my own worst enemy telling me that that's the best thing to do. We will see. And of course, we deployed those as we bought them. And now we go to unit movement. And I think this is the you can move within the state. And this is where I was talking about shuffling around those units to, let's see, yep, any British unit movement. So any British foot or horse unit can now be moved to any county in the same state at no cost. So I do want to, I'm going to move this loyalist unit in here too. So that'll give us an advantage over that cause unit. I'm going to bring this loyalist back to Tidewater. We look okay in here. This looks okay. I'm tempted again to bring another Hessian unit into, but I don't want to. I'm gonna leave it like that. I think that's okay. And do I want to move anybody here? Well, we could move. Like I said, with the French sitting there, I don't even want to consider anything with Hampton Roads right now. Pennsylvania. So we have this town. I think I'm gonna move this horse unit up here, and I'm going to move, let's bring this guy down here into the farm. Well, that doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Let's just get one person in each county there. I don't know why, but let's do that. I'm going to leave New York alone, and I'm not about to move anybody up in New England. We're trying to guard against anything crazy going on up there. So Virginia, Virginia, it's a mess right now. Forced march. Okay, so this is where now I can move to any state, any county, but there's a chance that the forced march will cause them to be placed back into our force pool. So we could lose the unit if we try force marching here. I don't think there's anybody want to force march anyway. I think, although it is tempting to, it is, you know what I forgot? I forgot to do the Smugglers attack. I got ahead of myself again. Okay, it's not a big deal because this only is going to affect bringing the Continentals in. We're not quite there yet. I'm still over here purchasing units. So let's go ahead and back up and get rid of get through the attack the smugglers phase. So Here we go. Sorry about that. So Long Island Sound, we're attacking this privateer. He gets to fire first at us. 2 or less is bad. Okay. That's bad. So Hal comes back into harbor. And we move on down to the Chesapeake and do the same thing. So, well, no, we don't do the same thing. There's no privateer there. We are going to just attack one of these smugglers with graves. On a 3 or less, we'll get rid of one of them. And, oh, that's good. So one of these smugglers comes back to the Caribbean, which is now very full. And Graves comes back to, oops, not both of those guys, just Graves will come back to In Harbor. And finally, Season 6, we're going to have Parker is going to fire at this privateer. The privateer gets to fire first. We hope he rolls a 6 or more. He did roll a 6. So, okay, Parker gets to fire back. So let's hope Parker rolls a 4 or less. Oh, and he does. Wow. So this privateer must come back to the Caribbean. And Parker's out. And now we will see if I can get rid of this last smuggler on a 3 or less. It'll do it. There's a 3. We'll take that. So he goes back to the Caribbean, which is packed full of smugglers now. Back to In Harbor. And now, now I can look at forced march. It does change things slightly. Looks like there'll be no Continentals coming in through the Place Rebels phase in Carolina, which is good. So I'm going to leave that like it is for over the mountains there. I think we stand a much better chance now. We will have a Continental coming into Virginia. Virginia's looking... I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. That doesn't look good. Yeah, that's not good. I don't really want to... I really, nothing I can do there. I mean, I could try to mass attack them, but that French unit sitting there is not good. All right, so we'll leave it as it is. Horse action is now where we can move our horse units around, and I don't think I want to do that. And so let's see. I think we only have one anyway, so it's just any county, any state. Yeah, I don't think I want to do this. Let's see. Maybe I do, though. It's a very strong unit. Lee is not out. He wouldn't stop us. I could move him down into Virginia with the idea of maybe trying to knock out these rebels, but they're so strong in there with that French army, and maybe I'm forgetting something here. Does the French army, does he just sit there? Does he get moved around? And I think he just sits there and won't move until there's another French intervention. So I think if he's sitting there, I think it's just a bad idea to go in and try to take over that county. I think he'll just, unless I can take in an overwhelming force. But yeah, I think he just sits there unless there's a British intervention against somewhere else, or French intervention somewhere else. So I don't think I'm going to do any horse action here. And then I'm going to go to place George Washington. General Washington will go to the state with the most British players. Well, the middle states, that is. So for most British players, we've got 4 in New York. We have 4 in Pennsylvania. And we only have 3 in Virginia. So it's going to be either New York or Pennsylvania. But hold on, because Rule 7.9 says, if 2 or more states are tied, or all 3 states have no British player, place Washington in the target state. The target state is New York, so he's going to go to New York. So we'll bring him up there. Oh, that's right, and Congress is there as well. Interesting. So we have George Washington and Congress in New York. All right. And we go into the battle phase. So, so check for French first battle phase. No battles in New England because there are no opposing forces in any county. No battles in New York. No battles in Pennsylvania. No battles in Virginia. But there is a battle in Carolina. We're hoping to get this cause unit out of here. So let's bring our battle marker over. And cause unit to the battle box. Our loyalist with 2 loyalist units are fighting back. This is a wilderness county. No, not a stronghold. Carolina, what's their loyalty? And here's something else I will mention. If you'll remember at the end of last turn, we had a random event where I had to lower the loyalty of one state by 5. So Carolina was up here at 10 before I did that. And it was towards the end of the turn and I wasn't thinking ahead. And this was pointed out to me. And I really should have thought of this because it was kind of a dumb thing to do. Instead of moving Carolina down 5, I probably should have moved Pennsylvania down from 7 down to 2 because Carolina is going to be a target state coming up for 3 turns. Pennsylvania is not. So I would have been much better off, I think, moving Pennsylvania down instead of Carolina. But I didn't. So we're going to leave it as it is. Carolina is currently at a loyalty of 5 instead of 10. So we will mark off the 5. And like I said, I don't think there's any modifications here because there's no what am I trying to say, Congress or Washington. There's Hessians in the state, but I think they have to be actually in the battle. Let's verify that real quick. If a battle has any Indian or Hessian, then you subtract them with the militia roll, but this isn't actually in the battle, even though they are in the state, so it's just going to be a straight die roll, and let's see, on the 5 column, so let's see what we get. Yep, let's see. We roll a 1. So they get 3, we get none. Well, that's horrible. All right, let's see what happens. We are attacking, so it is 4. And they are defending with 2, 5. So 4 divided by 5 to get our percentage is going to put us on the 65% column. I don't like that at all. That was horrible. That is exactly why I should have left Carolina's loyalty at 10 and not moved it down to 5. If we had been on 10 and rolled that 1, it would have been 1 and 2, which isn't nearly as bad. So yeah, that was not smart on my part, but that's why I am my own worst enemy. So let's see. Let's see what we get. We're on the 65% column, and we are attacking, so let's roll our die. We roll a 5, so it's a counterattack. Counterattack is on the 100% table, and I don't think there's anything. Yeah, ignore column shifts. There weren't any anyway, so it's just on the 100% table. Difference being now is that the rebels are attacking that cause unit that we just can't seem to do anything with. So cause unit attacks. Let's see what he gets. And he rolls a 5. So the defender retreats with a possibility of pursuit. Well, we were defending that time. So let's see which way we retreat to. Remember, the retreat priorities will dictate that. So we're not in a sea zone adjacent to wherever the French fleet is located. So we go to 2. It says otherwise retreat to a county containing only friendly units. That we can do. We can retreat to, looks like Piedmont over there. So, yep, that's adjacent. So I'm just checking the rules there to make sure I'm not overlooking anything. So we'll squeeze everybody into Piedmont. These loyalists retreat. Bring this out. We're going to bring the cause unit back over here. The battle lost force in Carolina will further reduce loyalty to a 4, even more painful because of what I just mentioned earlier about lowering him by 5 the last turn. And it was possibility of pursuit. I don't think they're going to do this. I think they're going to sit with there. But let's look. So pursuit. Here we go. Maybe to pursue. So rebel player pursuit. Rules 810 and 810.1 and 810.2 spell out their options. Rebels will pursue if the British Refuge County has rebel units. They will not pursue if the Refuge County has no rebel units. If the rebels do pursue, then a new battle is fought. Well, they're not going to pursue because there's no rebel units in there, which is good news for them, bad news for us, because I would like for them to have come in there because probably could have taken them out in that county with all those units, but looks like they will not pursue, which means they're going to stay in there. That really bugs me. Okay, so let's reset this. And we'll reset all of this. Yeah, that was painful. Again. Ugh. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all of that battle phase. Looks like it. So that will take us to the place rebels phase. And it's our committees of safety first, and we will try to see, we will place one of those. So let's go grab one. There's 2 left to choose from. So let's grab this guy and see which state to place 4. So state 4 is Virginia. Ooh, okay. And I believe we'll double check this as a random placement. So yep, let's roll it. And he's going to go into County 4. Well, that's in here. And that will bring us to the Continental Army placement phase. So we're going to roll to see which C zone we're going to start with. C zone 3. So it's C zone 3, that's here. And there is a smuggler there, so we will place a army in there. So let's shuffle this. There's not many left in there, as we saw earlier, but let's see what we get. So let's pull one. It's the Lee unit. All right, and let's see where this also will be a. I believe this is also random. Make sure. Yeah, gotta take care. Watch myself here because I made the mistake with randomly reinforcing Continentals, and that was not good. So anyway, he's going into. I don't know if I can roll this. He will go into County 4, which is up here. So Lee is now in County 4 of New York. And we will move nothing in C Zone 4. There is 1 and 5. So let's grab another one of these guys. And that is into Virginia. I'm making sure yeah, okay, so see where he goes. 3, County 3. Not liking the looks of Virginia at all. It's not good. Nobody in C Zone 6, nobody in C Zone 1, but there are 2 in Massachusetts Bay. So let's grab 2 Continentals. Roll for that top one. 5. So that goes here. And then the other one is going to go into 3. That is up here. Yeah, so he's going to go into the stack where Arnold is. Remember, we want to keep Arnold out. So I think we're getting ready to attempt to turn him, if I recall. Takes us back to C Zone 3. We've already done that. And that takes care of deploy the Continental Army units. Now we move George Washington to the state with the most Continentals. So that's going to be easy. I think that's going to be Virginia at this point. It's Continentals, yep. So Washington's going to come back down here now. And now we go to turn Benedict Arnold. I will get the rule book out for this because this is the first time we've done this. So let's see what happens. And Arnold is up here in New England. So, turn Benedict Arnold. If the Continental Arnold unit is on the map and there is a lobster in the same state, well, there is. There's one down here in Massachusetts Shore. There's a lobster. In the same state, and it is turn 9 or later, it is, the British player may attempt to turn Arnold against the rebels. Roll a die. On a 1 to 2, Arnold is shot for treason. Remove him from the game. 3 to 4, Arnold will escape to the British lines. Remove him, but add the AL Loyalist unit to the British force pool. And on a 5-6, Arnold's scheme succeeds. Same thing as 3-4. We would get to bring out that Loyalist unit. Plus all Continentals stacked with Arnold would go to the Prisoner of War box. So we really want to see the 5 or 6 come up here. The 3 or 4 would be our second choice. And the 1-2 would be our least favored choice here. So let's roll and see what happens. We're going to try to turn Benedict Arnold. So let's roll and pray for a 6 or 5. Nope, it's a 2. Which said Arnold is shot for treason, remove him from the game. Well, it's good that Arnold is gone, but it's bad that he didn't take those Continentals with him. So Arnold is out of the game. He's up here now. Well, they have 1 and we have a whole stack in their out of the game pile. All right. That is that. And now we go into the second battle phase. So there are no battles to be fought in New England. There is a battle to be fought in New York. So let's bring our battle marker up. The Hessians will fight the Lee unit. So New York, what is their current loyalty? They're sitting at 7. We'll put that on a 7, and then let's see if there's any modifiers. We do have Congress, so that I think that modifies. Let's see. Call for militia roll modified. No, Congress will not have any effect here. Other than it, well, if we win this, this will be good because it'll drive Congress into flight. But we've seen that before. So let's see. Let's get back to this though. So there's Indians or Hessians. Yes, so that'll be a -1 to our roll. Vermont is pro-British. It is, so that's a +1. So that's going to bring us back to 0. So basically, there are 2 modifiers that cancel each other out. And yeah, I probably should have applied that Vermont modifier to that last battle now that I think about it. Don't know if it would have helped us, but that's an easy one for me to forget, the Vermont modifier. So we caught it here, though, so let's see what we get. It's just a straight roll on 7. So let's see. And we roll a 6. So that's 2 for us and 1 for them. That's good. So this is in the wilderness. So they are attacking. Yep, they are attacking. So they are at, what did I say, wilderness, right? 2 + 1, so that's 3. We are defending at 2 + 2 is 4. Well, we know what that is, but we'll type it in anyway. That's good. Oops. Well, anyway, it puts us on the 65% column. And they're attacking. So let's see what they get. A 5. It's another counterattack. So we counterattack now. So that's going to take us to the 100% column. Nothing changes. You don't have no column shifts or any of that. So it's just a straight roll and we attack. We are the attackers. And we roll a 1. Okay, attacker eliminated. So these Hessians will go to the prisoner of war box. That's not good. So what does that mean? That means that so, well, it means Congress isn't going in flight. So that's that's not going to happen. I think it's just I guess they just get their loyalty point in New York. So they're going to come back to the Hudson Highlands. This isn't looking good. So we'll reset these. And I think we are going to give them their +1 in New York, or the -1 in New York, right? So they'll come down to 6 for winning that battle. Congress does not go into flight. And I think that is that. So I'm looking at the rules to make sure I didn't forget anything. I don't think I did. Let's just go right along. So it'll take us to Pennsylvania. There are no battles to Pennsylvania to be fought. Virginia, looks like there is a battle to be fought in Virginia. So let's fight that battle. Cause unit comes out. These 2 foot soldiers come out. Foot units. Lobsters, I'm trying to say. Yeah, making sure I'm not getting ahead of myself. So Virginia is currently sits at 7. So should have left that there. That's at 7. We are fighting in, it's a stronghold. Vermont is pro-British. So that's +1 plus another one is 2. There are no Hessians or Indians, so we're still at +2. I think that's it. I think just +2. Washington is there, so let's double check what effect Washington has. I don't think he has an effect on the militia roll, but I think he might cause a column shift. So Washington. Just want to double check this to make sure. By now I should have this memorized by heart, but I'm not going to go with what I think. I think I know. We're going to take a look and see. So Washington, column shifts. Congress. Looks like we did forget to shift the column for Congress, though, in that last battle. So I don't think it would have mattered since we were eliminated anyway. Yeah, I don't think that would have mattered. So anyway, Washington does not cause any column shift. It looks like Jefferson would. So Washington, we're trying to find Washington's effect on this. I don't know why I can't find it. The reason is I don't think he does anything for the rebels here. I think the only thing he's going to affect is if we had won the battle, then we wouldn't have got a loyalty increase with him being there. I think that's the only thing he does. So let's go to the end and see it. Effect on loyalty. Yeah, if Washington is in the state where the battle took place, yeah. So he's not going to affect the militia roll. So we still get our +2. And let's see what we get. Oh, let's clear that and roll. So 3 + 2 is 5. So it's we get 2, they get 1. We get 2, they get 1, and we fight. Okay. They are attacking, and it is in farmland. So they are at 1, 2. And we are at 4, 5, 6. So that will put them on the lowest column possible, and they will attack us. And they roll a 1. Attacker eliminated. So finally, we get that cause unit out of there. We win, but like I said, it's not going to affect the loyalty of Virginia. So let's just get our guys back into County 4. Reset this. And or at least we knocked them out of the one county in Virginia. But we do have them in 2 other counties in Virginia. Okay. And then we go on with our battle phase here. Our second battle phase. So nobody to fight in Carolina. Double check to make sure I'm not missing anybody. But I'm pretty sure that's going to end the battle phase. Looks like it does. That will take us to conduct rebel campaigns. Okay, here we go. This is where we roll 2d6 and we will see what we get. Let me grab my notes again and change this to 2 and roll. Let's see, we get 6 and a 1, and I think this might be our first major campaign. So if one roll, let's see. Yeah, if one roll is 1 through 5, which it is, and another roll is 6, then one major campaign occurs in one state. So it's telling me that this major campaign is going to be in New England, state number 1. If it had been a 6 and a 6, then it would have still been New England. All right, well, so that's telling me we have one major campaign in New England. We're going to mark that up here so we don't forget. And let's go into the reinforcements phase. So if only one state is campaigning, that one state will get both the Continental and the Cause unit. Oh, that's bad. So let's do this. So let's grab let's grab one of each. We know they're both going to go into New England, so we'll grab a Cause unit and we'll try to grab one of these Continentals. And there is a priority of placement in here, so let's get that out. So, number 1, in the lowest numbered rebel-occupied county, well, that will be County 4, so let's put them in there. So, I'm going to restack these for visibility's sake. So, the Cause unit will go in there, and the Continental will also, because they both go into New England. All right. So that's just the first part. And then it says, then move any rebel forces in higher number counties in that state to that county. So this is a higher number county, so this will get to come into this this county below it. And I think that's it. I think we move on to the major campaign battle. So let's go back to that in the rule book. And where are we at here? I'm losing myself in the rule book. Okay, so we place the reinforcements. Place them in there. We did that. We placed them in the priority. Okay, I'm trying to get on track here. Apologize for the delaying this again. I'm trying to get as much right as I can because things are going so bad for us. we want every opportunity to succeed that we have. So, okay, it's not a minor campaign, so we go down to 11/2 major campaign. If a state experiences a major campaign, place reinforcements and check to see if it is augmented by extended support. Now, I think extended support only occurs if there were no British units there. It's been a while, so let me double check that too. So if a state experiences a major campaign, place reinforcements and check to see if it is augmented. So I guess we have to do that. 11. What was the rule? I'm looking at my notes again. Where to go? 11.3.1 is to see if there's augmented by support. So 11.3.1 states, if a major campaign occurs in one state, all other states, not Quebec, are checked to see if they can provide extended support for that major campaign. Every state, even the target state containing only rebels, moves all of its rebel units into its own critical county. So let's do that. So basically it's saying move every, and I'm looking, these guys aren't going to move because they're already in the battle. So, let's see, containing only moves all of its rebel units. Every state containing only rebels moves all of its rebel units into its own critical county. Well, it's only rebels, so that doesn't apply to any of these states, I don't believe. So it looks like they're not going to provide support to this campaign. Yep. All right, so no extended support. Thank goodness. So it says back up to our major campaign. It says if the state has no... Well, that's not true. If both sides' units are in the state, rebel units in the state attack the British using the following, using the same attack protocol as a minor campaign. So the way that worked is the attack protocol is you start with one, attack British units already in the same county as the rebel stack. So I think this is just going to be the battle here. I don't think we're going to see any shifting around. I mean, if we lose, they're going to move, but let's see what happens. And so we'll start the battle here. So we will bring this battle marker up to Massachusetts Shore and bring out these 2 Continentals and this 1 Committee of Safety. And we have our 3 British units. So, battle occurs, and what will happen is the stack will move through the state, attacking each county in turn, following the attack protocol, fighting battles if necessary until it either takes any losses. That's what I'm looking for here, is what stops this major campaign. So if they take any losses through an exchange or attacker eliminated, or if they're forced to retreat, they'll stop. But if they clear us out and that doesn't happen, they'll march on. So let's not get too far ahead and see what happens here. So New England, I know their loyalty is low. It's a 1, so it's not 0. We have that going for us. And I don't believe there are any... Well, we get the Vermont modifier, but I don't think there's anything else there we're going to get. So let's double check. There's no Indians, no Hessian units there. So it looks like... Where's that at? Looks like we're just going to get the modifier for Vermont. I'm going to go to the rule book. Anyway, so... no Indians, no Hessians. Loyalist stronghold, no. It's not a Quaker county. The Vermont we do get. So, yeah, we're just going to get the +1 for Vermont being pro-British. So, let's see what we get. We get to add 1. Let's hope we roll a 6. 3. So, +1 is 4. We get nothing. They get 2. All right. And we are in, where do we go? We're in a farm county, so they're attacking. They are at 5 + 2 is 7, so it's 7, and we are defending at 5, 8. So we're defending at 8. That's good. I think that's good. That will put them on the 65% column, and they're going to attack. And they roll a 4, so it's a counter-attack. So now we are attacking. We attack on the 100% column, so let's see what we get. We counter-attack 5, defender retreats with the possibility of pursuit. So they're going to retreat. Hey, let's see which way they go. The priority, retreat priority. Retreat to a county containing only friendly units. I believe when they retreat, they're going to go to the left. I'm going to make sure. Rebel units always retreat to the left, to the lower number county. So for them, they're going to go back down to this second county in New England. So they're going to, they're going to come out. Let's kind of do some housekeeping here with them. So yeah, they're going to go into Rhode Island. Because they can do that. So we won the battle in New England. And I believe we will actually get to up their loyalty for that. I don't think anything's going to stop us there. Let's look at that real quick, make sure. And we still have the opportunity to pursue if we want to, but I suspect we're not going to do that. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes, but I don't think I have that in my notes. Here we go. Battle effect. All right. So Washington's not there. So Congress is not there. Yeah, so we're going to get to add 1 to New England because we won that battle. So New England's way down here. We'll bring them up to 2. And now let's get that out of the way because this is going to end the major campaign because they did retreat. So that's going to put an end to the major campaigning. So now we do have the, it was defender retreats with the possibility of pursuit. So let's move these guys back in just for a second. And then I will reset all of this. And now let's look at this. Like I said, I don't think I'm going in there after. If we win, let's see, player wins, defender retreats the pursuit and forces the rebels to retreat. We may elect to pursue the retreating rebels into the refuge county with any or all of our forces that just won the battle. In this case, a new battle will be fought right away in the refuge county, with the British player as the attacker and the rebels as the defender. And any rebels already in the county will join in on the battle. So let's look. There's an awful lot of units in here, and it is a... let's pull these out for a second. It is a town, so... How many cause units are in there? There's a stack of cause units in there. Astronomical stack of cause units in there. So, it's strong. So it'd be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They have 15 strength points to defend with if I choose to march in there. Let's stack all these guys back up in their county. So it didn't really matter a lot if Arnold was eliminated or not, did it? That's still full of Continentals. So they had 15. I would be attacking with 6, 7, 8. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it. No. Not going to do it. I'm just going to let those guys sit there and actually, that's kind of exactly why they're there anyway. Because what we just did, we had a major campaign in New England, but I don't care. That's fine. You notice that we were able to stop the major campaigning in New England, so all those units are still bottled up in there. And that's perfectly fine with me. I'll take that. Okay, so that was the only campaign we had there to deal with. So we've had 2 minor campaigns all the way up until now. We just had our first major campaign in New England, and it actually went pretty good for us, so that was good. So that'll bring us down to the logistics phase and trading with the enemy. So anywhere there is a lobster unit, we can raise the loyalty of a state. So, and it's up to a maximum of 4. So we can do 2 in Carolina, 2 in Virginia, 1 in Pennsylvania, 2 in New York. So how much money have I got? I have £3. We do have naval transport coming up, where I could pay to move some people around. And the question is, do I want to do that before I increase loyalty? Yeah, I don't know. So it's basically, I can pay £1 to move any unit to any county, any state that does not have a rebel unit in it. So, yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to spend this money on raising loyalty. And I think I'm going to spend all of it in Carolina, because Carolina is coming up. And we did just lose one of those. So you remember, I went down to 5 end of last turn. We just lost another one. Need to get Carolina's loyalty up. I'm going to spend £2 and increase their loyalty by 2 to 6. So we have £1 left. Now we get to naval transport, and like I said, there's just nothing I want to move right now. And that brings us to Naval Reset. So all of these ships go back out to sea. Hope they stay there. Reconvene Congress if in flight. They're not. And that takes us to the Liberty phase. Enlistment's not expiring. Oops. So we go to determine state control and move the Liberty Bell. So the target state was New York. And we do hold New York. And we must hold 2 other states. We hold New York. We hold Pennsylvania. Not Virginia and not Carolina. That cause unit again down in Carolina. Oh, that's painful. So the Liberty Bell will move up again to 3. Tick tock, tick tock. Bringing it ever closely to 9. So, yeah, I think what happened this time again was this Carolina. You know, we had a really good chance of knocking them out of there, and I really regret now not putting more units into the wilderness down here. And we had these 2 loyalist units in there, and I thought 4 would be fine against 2, but now I should have upped the odds more in our favor. That was critical. But I didn't do it, so we did not stop the Liberty Bell from rising. So that takes us to state loyalty modifications for each state. New England is not going to change. New York. So let me get my notes out, because remember, there's a lot of modifiers here you got to watch out for when you're adjusting these state loyalty. So okay, so where are we at? New York. If there's Indians, it's a -1. If Congress or Jefferson or Washington are there, it's -1. So we're already at -2 because we have an Indian unit and Congress. And I think that is it. Yeah, so it's like New York is going to go down by 2. Ooh, that hurts. So New York will go down by 2 to 4. Yeesh. Okay, and then Pennsylvania is all British, so that's a +1. Well, there are Hessians there, so that's a -1, so no change in Pennsylvania. Virginia is not going to change. Well, it will, because Washington is there, so he's going to bring it down by 1, so that will take it back from the 7 I just brought it up to down to, well, actually it was Carolina, not Virginia, so from 7 to 6 for Virginia. And then Carolina, no change because that cause unit won't leave. All right, that's the state loyalty modifiers. And of course, check for victory or defeat. We're still chugging right along, although that bell is creeping up slowly now, whereas before it wasn't. But hey, we get to a turn 10 next time. Okay, and now random events. So remember, we're rolling 3d6 on the random events chart now to see what we get. So let's roll 3 and see. And we roll 5, 6, 7, 8. We rolled an 8. So that is here. And let me get the rulebook out. Northern Radicals, 15-6. Abolitionists, deists, and other New England radicals divide the revolutionary consensus, while Congress is accused of furthering the interest of Negroes and Northern commercial concerns with unpatriotic ties to Britain. Decrease New England and New York loyalty by -1. All right, New England. New England, and well, New England was at 1 anyway, and New York goes down to 3 now. Increase Virginia and Carolina by 1, so that's good. So Carolina will go up another 1, and Virginia will go up another 1, so that's good. And roll a die for Pennsylvania. If it's even, then it will be increased as well. So let's see. If it's even, we'll increase their loyalty. It's odd, so we decrease their loyalty. So they'll go down to 6. And that is the first event. The next event is British atrocities. 15-8. And so this is where I reminded you last time that pay attention to the unit. So here, this applies to British units. So I think this is, let's see, randomly pick one state. Roll again if it's a 6. So yeah, there's like randomly pick a state and see what happens. I tell you what's going to happen is that loyalty is going to go down by 2 if the conditions are met. So let's roll. We pick a state. We rolled a 5, so that is naturally it's Carolina. The last place we want to see something happen. So what does it say? If it has at least one of the designated armies in it, reduces that state's loyalty by 2. So this was for British. Well, it does have British armies in it. It also has Hessians, but that doesn't matter here. They're referring to the British unit. So, or at least British lobsters or other British forces, not Hessians. So they are there. We have to reduce the loyalty of Carolina by 2. Now that's really that's brutal. I'm glad I spent those 2 pounds on raising their loyalty now. So they're back down to 5, right where we started from at the beginning of the turn. Okay, so let's go back and see what else happens in our random events. Dutch smugglers. I think this is where we get to place a smuggler. Neutral Dutch, yep. We place a smuggler or privateer in the sea zone of the player's choice. So let's see. It's got to be a privateer. It has to be the privateer in the sea zone of the player's choice. Thinking either the sea zone 3 or 5. Well, Virginia's starting to look like a lost cause. I can't leave it as such though, because it will eventually become a target state. And I don't want to lose New York either, because it currently is a target state, and we need to maintain control of New York. Oh. So where's this privateer going to go? Tempted to put him in Virginia and try to hang on to Carolina and Pennsylvania next turn. I just don't think I can do anything about Virginia right now with that French army being in there. I probably should try to push him out, but I don't know. Could also put this privateer in zone 4 or 6, but that's just going to increase the odds that Continentals come out through placement of smugglers the next turn. So we double up in one of these, it kind of knocks out a C zone for next turn. So I'm just gonna place him. See, I'm kind of tempted to place him up here because, like, if I knock one of them out, that's okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna have both privateers up in the Long Island Sound. I'm thinking. See, the French can't intervene there, so they sure can intervene down in Virginia. Yeah, I'm just gonna put him in Long Island Sound and try to. That's risky, but ooh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and then a Vermont check. Oh, I don't want to do a Vermont check. I want Vermont to stay pro-British. So the Vermont check is we're gonna roll a die and determine which way Vermont leans. So let's roll it and see what we get. We roll. Oops, clear that. We roll a 1. So, okay, here we are. On a 1, move the Vermont status marker to pro-British. So, yay, it stays pro-British. That was good. That was a good roll. And I think that's it for random events. Random events, end of turn. There we have it. We have finished turn 9. Like I said, normally this would end the game if the Liberty Bell were up there. It's not. It's way down here at 3. It did creep up a little bit, but we still have a ways to go. Not a great turn again. This killed us down here in Carolina. This cause unit is driving me nuts, and I need to get it out of there and take back Carolina. We need to take Carolina back. I'd love to take Virginia back. This is going to take some thinking on my part because that French army sits in there at an 8 strength point in that fort with these Continentals. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they're sitting there with 12 strength points. That's not good. But we're losing control of Virginia, and ultimately that's going to be a bad thing if we don't take control back. New England, I'm not as worried about as I was. I still am a little, but we had a good result there this past turn. That worked out good, and we need to get New York back under control and get these privateers out of there. Looks like the rebels have 1 cause unit, and we have nobody left in that force pool. So yeah, there we have it. This game has gone on a bit longer than I thought it would, but it is fun. I think though that at some point soon I'm going to go ahead and start this other game that I've been working on. It's ready to go. So if you see a gameplay video pop up that's not "Don't Tread on Me," do not panic. I will finish this game. I just may have another one going on alongside this one, and just to get some more variety out there. So yeah, look for that. Come over to Armchair Dragoons and check things out and leave comments. And let me know what you think in the comments below or over at Armchair Dragoons. So I hope you've enjoyed this turn, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.